me and Juha-Matti will talk a little about a little success story and some of the hookups on the way. And I think I will start with an introduction why we actually moved into this concept together.
Yeah, exactly. So, please.
Thank you. Back in the years, I think before June 2014, there were demands on Sahlgrenska University Hospital saying that, okay, we get this cell phones now, we can get mobile. Can we get some software solutions that make us able to work in the organization with the information? The discussions started to go, nothing happened. And the main reason about that was, of course, the digital solutions was in the beginning for that technical issues. The second thing is that we are actually stuck in a lot of big old systems that need to work and collaborate with these new software and new devices. So there were some challenges coming there, and how do we get this thing moving from an idea to something that we can actually put into a ward and into a solution? And I think one of the keys here was that the region, the Västra Götalands region, decided to start the ward of the future. It was in Östra sjukhuset, colorectal ward that takes care of cancer, for example. And they said, we want to develop new processes, we want to go into new technical solutions, and we want to try out things that we haven't done before. So that was like a pre-area of testing new things. With that, we put up a list of what do we actually want to go. And from that point, I add the train as actually a consultant in that time. What we wanted to do here is to get our main vendor of Melior, our medical documentation system. At that time, it was Siemens, now it's Cerner, to make this solution for us. The specification was quite simple. We want something going mobile, and from there, take the next step. If we can just add the basic measurements that we like weight, heart rates, blood sugar, stuff like that, 14 parameters. Can we just get that in, and then we can take the next step of medications and things like that. So we tried to start that work up, but it was not as simple as we wanted. We went into this turnaround gate 2 times, and due to technical issues. But in the end there, we said we need to have a different approach. And we met Medanet. And Medanet went into this as a cooperator with our biggest vendor, because to make this happen is what's crucial for us to have our region IT department working together with vendors that are specialists in this product, together with the main vendors of Melior. So I think that was one of the big key things that we wanted to go into. But what did we do then?
Yeah.
Juha-Matti, can you tell us what happened?
Soon I will tell you. Yeah, I will tell you soon how the solution and demand met. But before that, I will tell you just a bit about Medanets and our journey. We noticed this same thing as what Johnie mentioned already 2007, that nurses inside the hospitals and health centers, they are filing a lot of things 2 times. For example, those heart rate, blood pressure, or whatever. When they are taking those measurements from the patients, they have to file those to the paper and then again with the computer when they are back in the office. And we thought that we can solve this with the mobile application which is integrated to the journal system. And that's what we did. But our journey from the first pilot projects to the real deals and to the situation where we were able to say that this is profitable business, it has been really long. And I can say that it really requires patience if you want to make business with the e-health solutions in public sector healthcare. It takes time. But on the other hand, it's definitely rewarding, definitely. And our breakthrough happened 2015 when first university hospitals, Åbo and Tammerfors, started to use our solutions region-widely. About the Sweden, we had tried to get into the Swedish market since 2012, but now afterwards I can say that maybe our references wasn't good enough, and maybe same thing with the solution. But when we got those university hospitals in Finland 2015 as a customers, we thought that now we should try to find our way to the Swedish market. And for example, in autumn 2015, in Lund, I met with one consultant. I hope that he could help me to understand better your market and find the ways how to get to this market, your home market. And when he heard that we have to get the integration to the Swedish journal systems, he said that go back to Finland. Like others, you will never ever get those integrations. And we had heard those words so many times also in Finland, and of course we didn't believe him. We approached, for example, Cerner, journal system provider for the Västra Götalandsregionen and Skåne, and they got interested about our solution and our company, at least a bit, but we were missing the joint customer case. And then 2016, here in Gothenburg, in Vitalis, we had tiny booth, like the smallest booth which you can get from the exhibitions. We had that kind of booth, but one person from the event organization side, Hans Almvide, brought board of directors of Sahlgrenska University Hospital to our booth. Actually, I saw that some of those people are today here. There was maybe 12 people in our tiny booth, and they said that you have 5 minutes to tell what you are doing. And then we showed our application, our solution, and they got really interested. They were really excited because, as you heard from Johnie, they had realized the need already some years ago. And then things started to move forward. We started to build integration to the journal system together with the Cerner. And when customers saw and believed that they can really make that integration happen, we and especially the customers started to build up the proof of concept project. Ascom, company who is having really strong presence here in Gothenburg, they came on board at that time because they are having purpose-built Android smartphone for the healthcare professionals, for the caregivers, and an ecosystem of applications around that smartphone. And our application is one of those applications in that ecosystem. So they came on board also, and in the end what we had, there was big customer, there was totally new solution for the Swedish e-health market, there was new integrations to the journal systems, new smartphone for the healthcare professionals and so on. So quite a lot of moving parts. But proof of concept in Sahlgrenska and Borås hospitals started in the spring of this year, 2017. And Johnie, could you please tell about your feelings and experiences about that case or project?
Yeah, for sure. Getting now into this, that we actually had a solution, was a really relief for us. When we go out to the wards, the neuropsychiatry's department in Mölndal and the colorectal chirurgy in Östra, the first thing is what do the users experience? First of all, it was how should they adopt this new technology? And I just want to put up a question here. How many have cell phones, smartphones today? Hand up, please. Thank you. That's almost everybody. If I put that question up 2014, it will be a little less. So I think this is something that's getting very common, and we're getting used to the environment of using this kind of technology. So to keep up with that, now we have actually solutions that can help us with it. So getting this a bit more mature of using this kind of equipment is a big step forward. So what we needed to do is have some specialists dedicated in 2 hours something to know how the solution works. And after that, we can use 5 to 15 minutes to instruct the nurses how they should use the equipment. So one key success factor was that it was easy to use. The other gains that we got into this is that they saw really, really fast that they saved about 15 minutes a day of work. You probably have better other statistics that you use when you sell this product, but we have the real-life information that happened in our wards. And when people feel that they're gaining time, they motivate them to use the equipment. But not only in that step, the doctors had access to the information immediately instead of using the papers that we used to have before, the notes that could disappear, that sometimes was unreadable, and was mixed up with other information. So we get a better quality of the information also. And then, of course, having people feeling that we have a good, better patient security in handling this information also is also a value. Cannot measure it in time, but in money or in suffering if we do something wrong for the patient. So these are some of the gains that we had from the experience of your solutions.
Yeah. Still working, yeah. So, thanks. We have also really enjoyed about this project. Like, let's say this way, that during last 3 years we have had really nice projects in Finland, proof of concepts, production uses, and this proof of concept is also really, really good. And big reason for that is that customer has been really involved from the top management to the end users. One thing I want to tell you or discuss about is the luck, because we were really lucky that those board of directors of Sahlgrenska came to our tiny booth in Vitalis 2016. But of course, I have to say that you have to earn that luck. We had tiny booth, also several other events before this Vitalis 2016. In our business, we don't have even possibility to discuss about success stories with the customers if we don't have the right and good partners. And how you are capable to build partnerships, even though that you are quite small company from the northern part of Finland, it's possible if you bring value for your partners and if you are capable to build trust relationships. And that's the recipe we believe in Medanets. And that works also with the customers. When I graduated 10 years ago and got my first real job as a salesman in mobile software company, it wasn't a Medanets, it was another company. I didn't have a clue what is a mobile software, but I thought that if I treat others as a human being, if I keep always my word, and if I show the people that they can trust on me, I will succeed. And it worked exactly like that. And it might sound naive, but it's exactly like that in this kind of business where sales cycles are more than 18 months. You have to build relationships. This year we attended also to the Vitalis event here in Gothenburg with a little bit bigger booth, not with the big booth, but not with the tiny booth either. When we met people from the Västra Götalands region, and they smiled and they said that it's really nice to work with you. And I said to my colleagues that, did you notice that these people said at first that it's really nice to work with you, and then after that they said that you have great solution. And that's the killer combination. If you have great relationship and great solution, it's so much easier to fix bugs from your software than bugs from your behavior. Thank you.
I really, really liked your final remark. It's so important when in healthcare, we always say that the value comes from the meeting between the person who works in healthcare and the patient that you meet. But it's the same in innovation and implementation, that you can't, as you were saying, you can't fix the bugs in your relationship. That's much harder than fixing the technical bugs.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's a really important thing to put that in your notes from today. And I would also like to say something. You've been mentioning Vitalis a few times, and
Yeah.
I would just like to say that Vitalis is, I mean, the biggest e-health conference in the Nordic region is here in Gothenburg, and it is a sort of neutral arena where you can actually meet. But we were saying that you need places to meet between healthcare and industry and academia, and Vitalis is one of those arenas, and Sahlgrenska Science Park is one of the partners of Vitalis. That's just something you should know. And I would like to ask you, as you were saying, there are many moving parts in this project, and there are a lot of stakeholders. So what do you think was the actual sort of key to getting everyone together and we're going in the same direction?
I think that at least from our perspective, the main thing was that all the parties had motivation and attitude to make this happen. I think that was maybe the biggest thing. And also like big difference to many other cases which we have had was that customer had realized the need already some time ago. Because many times we have to start by selling the idea at first, and then we can start to introduce our solution. We have to explain the idea first. But customer had realized that already a couple of years ago, and maybe that gave extra boost for the motivation also.
And how did you actually get, or would you like to comment that as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Please.
I'm on. Yeah. Good. In our big organization, I mean, our hospital, we are 16,500 employees. To get people that are actually taking decisions of different areas together and understand about what actually we want to achieve before talking about the issues you are working with on daily basis. I think that was one of the keys that made everything happen. Because we have so much different interest and so much different areas to work in, and to collaborate here is a challenge in a big organization.
So actually taking a step back and realizing what your sort of common ground is before moving forward.
You need to get the technician to understand we actually delivering medical care for people. And they are working a lot away behind of that, but they are a really key success for making that happen. And I think people working with IT sometimes loses that perspective. But getting that on and getting an understanding, this is something that gives value to our users, that faces the patients, that make it easier to get something to happen. But that's into leadership, as Anne-Marie said.
Yeah, it's leadership, 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 in that order. So I think it's so really good points that actually getting the perspective and building the relationships, and then you can get collaborations like this to work. Thank you very much for coming here and sharing your story and get one of these each.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.